Okay, time. Okay, surprise! I'm in Peru, and I'm at Machu Picchu. Isn't this just so beautiful? I'm here by myself, and I used to do a ton of solo traveling. I'm telling you, it's the best. If you could ever do a solo trip somewhere, it is such a good way to get to know yourself better. But I came here to feel something, you know what I mean? And I definitely have. I've done shaman ceremonies that were like 10 years worth of therapy. It was wild. I've seen a lot of llamas, and the people here are so kind. I feel very safe here. It's a little sad that I had to leave my country to feel safe, but that will get better eventually. And I am dying for some Trader Joe's rolled chili lime chips. But other than that, I am so content. Still haven't been kissed yet, but I'm holding out hope.
Stop!
And most of all, you know, this trip has me feeling like I'm my own best friend again. And that is the best feeling in the world. And I hope that you feel that way about yourself too. And I love ya. Okay. Bye. Machu Picchu. Wow. Gorgeous. Love ya.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hoping you're having a great and wonderful day. It seems that we have some sad and unfortunate news, at least for the very far left, because Dylan Mulvaney has been reportedly left the U.S., fled the U.S., or I guess on vacation. I'm not quite sure which. However, they're just not longer in the U.S. anymore. And it seems that there's a little bit more to this, so let's get right into it. We have that sad Dylan Mulvaney flees to Peru and complains he no longer feels safe in U.S. after Bud Light fiasco. Trans influencer flocks with a llama and hires a shaman. Dylan Mulvaney has fled to Peru for some much-needed solo travel and soul-searching after he complained he no longer felt safe in the U.S. The trans influencer, 26, has been at the center of scandals this year, having caused a storm of outrage after partnering with Bud Light in April, knocking millions off the value of the beer company. After addressing the ordeal publicly on his TikTok last month, Mulvaney has announced he's solo traveling in South America to reconnect with himself, and filmed himself frolicking with the llamas. He told fans in a series of videos, which included posing with a llama, "Okay, surprise, I'm in Peru. I'm at Machu Picchu. Isn't this so beautiful? I came here feeling something, and I definitely have done shaman ceremonies to that for like 10 years worth of therapy, blah, 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 blah." Pretty much just recap of what he's been doing. In Peru, same-sex partnerships are not recognized as marriage. In America, gay marriage is recognized in the law. People in Peru are allowed to legally change their gender without requiring surgery. This comes amid the background of plummeting sales of Bud Light since their partnership with influencer Mulvaney. The popularity of the beer has been dropping since brewer Anheuser Busch teamed up with Mulvaney 26 and gave him a personalized can, which we all see the actual damage that caused. We have here as well. Meanwhile, last month, Mulvaney broke his silence on Bud Light to slam the bottled beer brand for not standing by him amid the fallout from their disastrous campaign. The 26-year-old on Instagram addressed the debacle, which has seen Anheuser Busch lose $20 million in market cap value since the advert for March Madness. Speaking to his 1.8 million followers, he said, "I was waiting for the brand to reach out to me, but they never did. I've been scared to leave my house. For a company to hire a trans person and then not publicly stand by them is worse than hiring a trans person at all. Because it gives customers permission to be as transphobic, as hateful as they want. Should be nothing controversial or divisive about working with us." Here's the thing. I would like to believe that trans people that are not lunatics, that are not insane, that are being invisible to the public eye, are just normal people, but that are probably not pedos or child grabbers or what you ever want to call them, because they're just people that have some issues and they're just trying to go about their lives. People like Dylan Mulvaney, I think it's a facade, it's a lie, both to the trans community and also to the fact that, well, he's pretty much making it up. I mean, this guy went from pretty much to doing things with animals and stuff to invoking the trans whole narrative type deal, and this seemed to work out very, very well for him, so he decided to do this. And now that he is, obviously people are upset because they had a male try to represent as a woman on a beer can, which nobody really liked to begin with, then I'm assuming that this had a very negative outcome. And of course, this is also coming after the fact that people are tired of the whole pride movement in general. All right, this is happening across the world, not really just in America. So I don't know where he's really going with this. It's not really transphobic. I think people are just sick and tired of all this stuff being shoved in their faces. And I think also people, even women for that matter, can see on how you're making a mockery of them every step of the way. Because obviously not every single woman is this ditzy idiot fool that does the stuff that you do. It's just not common. In fact, I see a lot less women actually doing this type of stuff. I mean, this is kind of like a stereotype that people think or assume that women do, which honestly, in my opinion, very few actually do. There are those very cheerleadery or annoying women. I have met those that are quite annoying. But again, be you, that's fine. I just don't find that very entertaining or humorous, and I don't think a lot of women do either, because again, they just don't do this. So I don't know about you, transphobic doesn't seem to be the case, but it seems as this person is no longer in the United States. They are gone, they have fled, allegedly fled, and is no longer here. And they feel apparently much safer, as you've seen from the video, in Peru than they do in the US. And as this article says, well, you can't legally marry anybody there in Peru, so there's that. In the U.S., you can, and then you can legally, I guess, change your name there or your gender or whatever in it. You just can't. It's just limited in some areas. So I don't see where this is really a good thing or how this is supposed to be going, because honestly, this just seems like a net negative, quite honestly. But no, it be as it may. Doesn't seem to. Doesn't seem great. I don't think people care. I think people dislike you for many other reasons than you just being transhuman. But, I digress. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.